Tonight's story involves a 16-year-old boy, his entire life ahead of him, and he was planning on what he wanted to do and who he wanted to be, which is amazing. Those of you that have teenagers, sometimes they don't have these visions and these thoughts. They just kind of like, you know, whatever. No, not this young man. Damien Feliz is his name. He was shot and killed, and it's incredibly tragic. Our affiliate, KGTV in San Diego, has the story.
August 28th, 2019, around 10:30 that night.
I heard a little.
Gunshots ring out in an alley off Ogden Street in Chollas Creek. 16-year-old Damien Feliz is discovered with a gunshot to his chest. He's rushed to a hospital where he died.
I wanted to throw up. I couldn't breathe. Just like, no, this is not true. This is not true.
His mother, Janice Feliz, says her grief remains overwhelming, a grief mixed with frustration because his case remains unsolved.
It's horrible knowing that they still walk among us. It makes me angry.
Feliz says she last saw her son that morning when she left for work. She tells us Damien, who was trying out for football at Mar Vista High in Imperial Beach, had recently gotten his first job as a bagger at a Navy commissary. He dreamed of becoming an architect.
He was just such an amazing person, you know. Everybody wanted to be friends with him. Just imagine the hole in my heart that I feel when I know that I can never touch him again. I don't know how much I love him.
That night, Feliz believes Damien may have been at a house party near the alley where he was found. Witnesses saw a light-colored sedan driving from the area around the time of the gunshots. Police say while several possible witnesses have been interviewed, the details of the shooting remain a mystery. Feliz says she does not know of anyone who had a grudge against her son. She's now pleading for anyone with information to come forward to help get her son's killer off the streets.
I want them to get exactly what they deserve. That would be the justice.
Okay, we have a phone number for you. Crime Stoppers, 888-580-8477, 888-580-8477. I know we have a lot of viewers in Southern California. If you have any information, please call today. I mean, this is a young man, Damien Feliz, 16-year-old. Good kid, really good kid. And you heard his mom. We invited his mom on the show tonight. She couldn't do it. She just couldn't do it. It's tough. It's difficult. She did send us a statement, though, so I want to read the statement so you understand why we do these stories and how tough it is. Here's a mom. She just couldn't do it tonight. She couldn't do it. She said, I have protested. I've been fighting for him. Mentally, it is the most draining and painful experience I've had to deal with, and there have been no answers for me. I've been fighting this battle by myself, and it's been killing me as well. I'm grateful for whatever you can do so that I may begin to live with some closure and try to have a normal life again. You know, when people and loved ones are taken, they're not the only victim. I mean, it's everyone that's in their world. It's shattering. And for a mother, your 16-year-old boy. Okay, I want to bring back in our guest, still with us. Former San Diego Crime Lab Director Jennifer Shen is with us, and retired Police Commander Mike King, also the host of Profiling Evil. Jennifer, let's start first with this area. It was described as Chollas Creek neighborhood. Are you familiar? How would you describe it? And how could something happen there and no one saw anything, and there's no cameras that captured anything here?
Well, you know, the scary thing is that shootings can happen anywhere. And this is a neighborhood where, you know, you wouldn't expect this sort of thing to happen, and it did. You know, and there's only so much that police can do if you don't have witnesses that give you information. You can look for video cameras. You can look for evidence. You can try to find DNA, fingerprints, something that can give you a clue. But when that evidence isn't there, it makes it very, very difficult to solve these crimes. And it's really going to come down to someone saying something, I think.
Mike King, heartbreaking words from Damien's mom, that she's saying, I've been fighting this battle by myself. Oh.
Yeah.
I hope she's not fighting by herself, and it feels very lonely, I'm sure. But I think folks will just probably fill your inbox when this story hits the airwaves, and people have a chance to respond. I mean, what a good looking kid. Wouldn't it be neat to have him working for you and just being a part of your life? And this thing has to be solved. Now, I'm really thrilled that Jennifer's here because she knows the woods there really well. But there's a couple things that really jumped out at me, Vinny, that have troubled me about this that I wish there was more public information on. It's not a neighborhood that he lives in, from what I can tell. He was there for a party, but there's some really interesting behavior on that intersection where he walked to at the alley in Ogden. Was he there because he was going to meet somebody? Was he walking to his vehicle? Why did he end up in that location? There's evidence that suggests that maybe the shooter was on foot and ran and jumped into a car and left. So it kind of takes away the idea of this opportunistic drive-by kind of a thing. So did he stumble across something, or was he involved in something? Because we just never know what's going on in their private lives.
Yep. Jennifer, the other part of this story is, and we're covering other stories like this, other unsolved cases where there's a party. And I understand people don't want to necessarily get involved. People don't want to say anything. And I understand part of it could be fear, because if you say something about someone getting killed, are you the next one in line to be killed by this person? They've already taken one life. And I understand all that fear. But I've got to think people know, because it's a party. People know, they're talking, someone saw it. Someone's not going to see something and then not say something to someone else. And especially when you're a teenager, you're going to say, can you believe what we just saw? Or what did you hear about this? So I think there are people with the information who need to come forward, but I think they have to feel safe in doing so.
Yeah, that is a really great point. And I think, it's something that always troubles law enforcement investigators when they can't get the information they need from the people they know something. It's very typical, particularly with younger people, who are involved in gang sets. There are people who just don't want to get involved, largely because they're afraid. And, that just takes an intense amount of investigation and interviewing people and talking to people and just trying to build that relationship to get eyewitnesses to trust you so that they will give you the information that you need. And I think that's what needs to happen here. I think if it could have been solved by forensics, it would have been. Since it wasn't, they're going to have to get someone to talk and give information that can lead them to this, and ultimately to the suspect here, and give this poor family some justice.
Yeah, Mike, I think fear plays a big role in cases like this. And if you're young, you're going to be very fearful. If you have information about a murderer, there's another story we're covering out of Florida where the victim witnessed a murder, and he was murdered because he witnessed a murder. And the fear is real because the violence is real, and the evil out there that you profile every week is real.
I keep thinking about this and the kids there. We know that there are two people at least that know what happened, because there was a driver and a shooter. And again, I don't know how far he was from the party, if there were witnesses that were there. But there is also this forensic evidence that may still come into play, because there hopefully was a bullet that was recovered. I don't know that there's been anything to suggest whether it was a revolver fired or a semi-automatic weapon. If it was a semi-automatic, then there may be a cartridge that fell onto the ground that somebody could get DNA and get ballistics off of, so that they could say, hey, this particular weapon is a 9mm with a 6 right twist that's going to tell us we need to look in the NIBIN's database and compare this. So like a fingerprint of old, there's a fingerprint in these weapons and the things that are left behind that hopefully brings some hope to this family as well.
Mike King, Jennifer Shen, always great to have you on the show. I'm glad you share your experience and insight with me and our viewers. We'll see you again really soon.
Thank you.
Right.